read the statement that Viola has to you. I went to college asking myself, as many artists do, how am I going to make money? How am I going to support myself? When I didn't see a clear path, I thought, I'm not going back home. It's just not going to work as an artist. I have to be something else. Acting is just something I'm going to do on the side. So I took a lot of English courses, which I loved, and decided I was going to be a teacher. Something inside me, however, must have had different ideas because I fell deep and hard into a major sadness. It was a depression about trading in my dream. So at the end of the day, it really matters to go after your passion because the heart knows what it wants. And if God has placed a dream and passion in you and you're not pursuing it, it can lead to a betrayal of itself. So as Viola decided through the encouragement of her siblings that she was going to pursue a degree in the arts, it led her to live a life that was more fulfilling to her. So my question to you is that Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Isioma Ononye and my channel is all about all things personal development, women empowerment, mental health, life and culture in Nigeria. So for today I am talking about a book. I just finished reading Viola Davis's Finding Me and I thought it was such an incredible book. And I admire Viola Davis as an actress because the roles that she plays as this strong, independent, vulnerable, brave and courageous woman, it's really just, it uplifts you in the screen. And I think she's such an amazing actress. So when I found out that her book was out, I was like, I need to read it. I need to learn more about her story. And her story is so inspirational. Her story is so beautiful. Her story just truly encourages every woman and young girl out there. So for this video, I'm going to give you 3 lessons that you can learn from Viola Davis's book. And I'm going to try not to give too much away if you haven't read the book yet. So, number 1 lesson from Viola Davis's book is that you can rise beyond where you come from. It doesn't matter if you have like a starting stage where you're not so privileged, where you're underprivileged, where you're going through difficulties and challenges, you can always rise beyond that and still be more. As cheesy as it sounds, Viola Davis' story is the testimony that you can be more than where you came from because she came from a very poor background. She came from a very, very poor family where she says there were times where they didn't have anything to eat. There were times where their family, they had no money, they had to beg for loans. There were times where her and her sisters couldn't really provide for themselves. They couldn't really provide for the upkeep in their family. This is the starting point that she came up from, but now she's just, she's definitely an acclaimed actress. She's just really rising in her role. She's won an Oscar, so it doesn't matter the background you came from, you can rise above it. And I want to read to you one of my favorite statements from the book when she talks about how she grew up. We were poor. There's a level lower than poor. I've heard some of my friends say, we were poor too, but I didn't know it until I got older. We were poor and we knew it. There was absolutely no disputing it. It was reflected in the apartments we lived in, where we shopped for clothes and furniture, the St. Vincent de Paul, the food stamps that were never enough to fully feed us, and the welfare checks. We were poor. We almost never had a phone. Often we had no hot water or gas. We had to use a hot plate, which increased the electricity bill. The plumbing was shoddy, so the toilets never flushed. Actually, I don't even remember toilets working in our apartments. I became very skilled at filling up a bucket and pouring it into the toilet to flush it. And with our gas constantly being cut off because of non-payments, we would either go unwashed or would just wipe ourselves down with cold water. And even the wiping down was a chore because we were often without towels, soap, shampoo. I damn sure didn't know the difference between a washcloth and a bath towel. This is the environment that Viola Davis grew up in. But in spite of that, she still was determined. She still got an education. And she still continued to pursue her passion for acting and theater. And she's a worldwide name right now. I'm sure you've heard of The Woman King. I'm sure you've heard of That's How to Get Away with Murder, a popular show. So one of the greatest lessons that you learn from reading this book is that it doesn't matter your background in life. It doesn't matter if you started out poor. It doesn't matter if you started out underprivileged. You can still rise above it. Now, the second lesson that I love from Viola Davis' book is that you are not defined by society standards of beauty for you. You are not defined by society standards of beauty. And what I mean by this is that Viola says that one of her biggest insecurities growing up was that she never felt good enough. She never felt beautiful enough. She was even bullied by boys who used to chase her around, calling her this black girl, this black woman. She was made fun of. And even as she got into her role of acting and, getting into the whole world of film and entertainment, she says that there were certain roles that she felt like she couldn't fit in because it was either you had to be a certain level of black to be pretty enough, that it always felt as though her blackness wasn't pretty enough. But what I love about this is that she talks about how she continues to advance in her career and even taking the role of How to Get Away with Murder, a beautiful, strong, smart woman who has relationships, who has a marriage, who has things going for her, and she's able to display this positive image of womanhood to other people in spite of the fact that she's a black woman. So you are not defined by society standards of beauty for you. I know I'm not a black woman, I'm a brown-skinned woman, but still, no matter what shade of black you are in, you have to appreciate your own beauty and you have to know your worth it. Now, one very touching moment that Viola shared in the book was this childhood memory that she says has always stayed in her mind as a young girl. She said, I'm the little girl who would run after school every day in 3rd grade because those boys hated me because I was not pretty, because I was black. More than the bedwetting, poverty, hunger, sexual abuse, and domestic violence, it is a powerful memory because it was the first time my spirit and heart were broken. I defined myself by the fear and rage of those boys. I felt ugly. I felt unwanted, even by God. I wanted so badly to fit into this world, but instead I was being spit out like vomit. Who I was offended them. The memory burrowed itself inside me and metasized. It didn't help that I was running back to a home where there was no protection, a home that seemed to cement all the horrific things those boys said about me. So that's a very terrible childhood memory that had remained in her, of feeling inadequate, of having these boys bully her and make her feel as though she's not good enough. But at the end of the day, she continued to persevere. She continued to see her beauty and her worth in her acting role, from going through supporting roles to getting a leading role in Fences, in The Woman King, in many movies that she has displayed and acted just brilliantly, in winning an Oscar. So we see her rise above all these negative definitions of what it means to be a black woman. And we see her display a more positive image of black womanhood and black femininity. So this is for all the girls or women out there who struggle with their appearance, who struggle with insecurities, to know that in spite of how society defines you by your standards, you are not defined by society standards of beauty. You get to decide what are your own standards of beauty, and you should always look at yourself with love, with God's love and God's eyes, to know that you can be the woman that you want to be, not the woman that society tells you to be, the woman that you want to be, and as your own. You are beautiful, you are worthy, you are deserving. Yes, perspire to aspire. I know I'm so cheesy, but I think this is you can't deny the fact that this is one of the most important lessons that Viola teaches in the book. One of my very favorite lessons that Viola teaches in the book is that pursuing your passion matters. It matters to go after the things you care about, because not going after the things you care about can lead you to feeling upset, can lead you to a lack of fulfillment in your life. Now, because Viola Davis came from a very poor family, she was reluctant to actually pursue a degree in theater, to pursue a degree in the arts. She initially thought that she would become a teacher because that would have provided her more financial stability. But she had said in the book that as she was denying herself the ability to pursue her passion, it led her to a depression. It led her to feeling as though she was betraying herself. But she ended up going to the best schools, going to Juilliard, graduating with an arts degree, and her work career speaks for itself now. She has made it. So if you have a passion inside you, if there's something you want to pursue, do not deny yourself. Do not deny yourself the passion that God has placed in your heart. Do not betray yourself, that thing that you want to pursue. And the funny thing is that when I read the statement in the book, I'm going to read it to you right now, of her saying that she betrayed herself. It reminded me of my own story, even though I'm not yet successful. I remember when I wanted to choose law over arts and literature, and I knew it was in my heart to pursue literature. I also felt that sign of like betrayal, that I would be betraying myself by not pursuing the thing that I really cared about. So let me read what Viola wrote to you. I went to college asking myself, as many artists do, how am I going to make money? How am I going to support myself? When I didn't see a clear path, I thought, I'm not going back home. It's just not going to work as an artist. I have to be something else. Acting is just something I'm going to do on the side. So I took a lot of English courses, which I loved, and decided I was going to be a teacher. Something inside me, however, must have had different ideas, because I fell deep and hard into a major sadness. It was a depression about trading in my dream. So at the end of the day, it really matters to go after your passion, because the heart knows what it wants. And if God has placed a dream and passion in you and you're not pursuing it, it can lead to a betrayal of itself. So as Viola decided, through the encouragement of her siblings, that she was going to pursue a degree in the arts, it led her to live a life that was more fulfilling to her. So my question to you is that what is that passion that is within you, and how can you pursue it? Because you not pursuing it might be what is affecting your happiness and fulfillment in this life. So those are my top 3 lessons from Viola Davis' book. Number 1, you are not defined by your starting point. You are not defined by where you came from. Because even though you have a background that might be poor and underprivileged, you can still rise above it. Number 2, you are not defined by society's standards of beauty. Society might have a standard of what a beautiful woman should be and what womanhood is all about, but you get to create, you get to define what your standard of womanhood and beauty is. And number 3, your passion, your pursuits, your goals, your dreams, and your ambitions matter, because it affects the sort of life that you lead, it affects your happiness and your fulfillments. So tell me, have you read Viola Davis's Finding Me before? Or have you read a book that is similar to Viola Davis's book? Definitely share your thoughts with me in the comments section. Let me know what are some of your favorite lessons from this book or another book that is similar to this. If you have book suggestions, definitely let me know. My next read is going to be an autobiography by another actor that I really admire. Will Smith, I'm still a fan, yes. So definitely let me know your comments in the sections below, in the comment section below. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to my channel and support your girl, and I will see you on my next video. Bye.